Hi, everyone. In this example, we want to look at row-level security. So let me take you through the official Microsoft documentation. So row-level security is a way of restricting data to different users. For example, if you have a data set which is, let us say, 50,000 records, but it contains the data for North, South, West, and East region, you don't want the manager for West to see the records for the other managers. So you can have different row-level security for all the 4 managers. And this way, everybody has restricted access to only the data that has been given to them. So it is a way of applying filters and giving restricted data access. Now, obviously, on the documentation, it explains this in a lot more detail. And if it is important, you can definitely go and have a look at this. The link is there with the video. So I'm going to open a Power BI file. RLS is extremely easy to set up, but I still want to show you live how to do it. So I'm taking an Excel workbook, which is on my desktop. It's a fairly large file with about 50,000 records and 20 odd columns in it. In fact, 15 odd columns in it. And what we're doing here is I would like to make a map in which we will show the country and the sales value like this. Now we have 165 countries with us in this data set, and that is what we are showing on the map. Now we can go to modeling and we can select manage roles. And here we can create a new role, and I will call it APAC for Asia Pacific. And in APAC, we will apply a filter on the country. And we will say, in fact, we'll apply a filter on the market. So let's apply a filter on the market. And we say the market is APAC. We save it. And in case you want to view it directly within Power BI desktop, we can go to view as. And then when I select APAC and click on OK, you notice that it gets filtered to show me APAC. But let me just make sure that the spelling is correct because it is not applying properly. So let me just go back to modeling and manage roles, and let's try to change that into Asia Pacific. Yeah, that works. As you can see, working perfectly. Let me go back to manage roles. Now, how the DAX expression works is that it will filter the data as per the expression, and it will return a true or a false value. So you can add as many conditions as you want, but it has to be a result of a true or a false value. For example, let me create a new role, and I'm going to call this APAC consumer, right? So what we are saying here is that we would like the person with the level of access of APAC consumer to only see the data for Asia Pacific and the consumer segment. So once again, I will add a filter. And we will say that the market is equal to Asia Pacific and the segment is equal to consumer. We can also validate it to make sure it's working properly. Save it. Now, when we go to view as and we select APAC consumer, you notice that it is only showing us the data for APAC consumer. The value for China is 337,000. But if we go to APAC overall, we're able to see 700,000. Once we publish this, I will have to save it on my desktop first. And let me save it to the trainings folder. So once you publish the report, right now it is showing you everybody's data. But what we can do here is so here we go to our workspace, which is trainings, and make sure you're selecting not the report, but the data set. Click on the three dots. We click on security. And here we can say that APAC refers to only the people whose email IDs have been given here, right? The moment you do that, only the person with that email ID will be able to access that data. Or another way of looking at it is that the person with this email ID can only see the data for APAC.